Hey everybody, it's been long enough. Let's get into this trilogy on the precipice of Halloween Ends. It's time to talk about Halloween 2018. Let's get into it. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Nightmare Collective. I'm Chris. Thanks for stopping by and watching my review for Halloween 2018. It's finally time to pull out the big guns. I know I haven't really covered a lot of big franchises on this channel yet, but with Halloween Ends coming out this week, I wanted to give my thoughts on 2018, Halloween Kills, and then we'll have my Halloween Ends review after that. So let's get into it. What did I think? So I do like that this is a follow-up to the original Halloween. I kind of like that we're like excluding some of those, although I do like Halloween 2. I like that it was that sequel and we kind of ended things off before Halloween 3 because they thought that was really the end for Michael Myers. So I'm kind of fine watching those two movies together or that movie and then these eventual 3 movies together. So we'll have to obviously see how it ends this week with Halloween Ends. But so overall, I really like this movie a lot. The more I watch it, I think the more I like it. In the beginning, I was kind of like lukewarm on it, but I think the more I watch it, especially coming after Halloween It Kills now. God, I'm going to get these names so messed up this whole time. After Halloween Kills came out, I was like, oh, there was like a newfound like appreciation for that 2018 movie because I didn't love everything about Halloween Kills. So 2018 works a little better for me, I think, overall. But I really do like the premise here. You know, we've got Laurie back and we've got Michael, who has basically been incarcerated for 40 years. And then we've got these two like podcast people coming in and they want to interview him and they bring his mask back. Never a good idea. Who thought like, yes, let's bring Michael his mask back. That should be okay, right? I know like they wanted to see what would happen, and then you got Sartain pulling his bullshit halfway through this movie. But I do think it's a good like kind of resetting of where we were with the franchise. It got rid of all like the nonsense that had come before. I'm looking at you, Resurrection. I'm looking at you. Like
trick or treat, motherfucker.
Like I said, this does reset the stage for that, and so we can move forward and kind of end Laurie and Michael's story once and for all, at least for those characters. I like the addition of her daughter and her granddaughter. Obviously, Greer is fine. I think she is kind of annoying in the first one. That's the only downside I have for like 2018 is I think her character is just like mind-numbingly annoying in that movie. She was better in Halloween Kills, but I'm not mad that she died. I'm going to say it now. I know we're not at Kills yet, but I'm not mad that she died. You know, whatever. Annie Matichak is way better anyway, so I really like her character. So I like, again, that we've kind of set these things. It's very reminiscent of the original Halloween. You know, you've got your group of friends, and Michael's kind of stalking them. So I do like that aspect of it. You know, it's kind of like what The Force Awakens was to A New Hope. You kind of get it. Yes, it's this sequel, but it's still playing off the things that work in the original. So I do like that aspect. And again, like we're resetting the stage. So I know people are going to ask, do I like the Sartain twist? You know, I don't like that we did it and then we killed him. Now, if we had done it and then like done something with him, maybe it would have worked. I also wish they had Sartain drive Michael to Laurie's house, which was what his intention was. Like, hey, if I bring him here, what is he going to do? And we don't get that. We don't get him kind of fulfilling that plan. We just get him awkwardly like popping up from the car. He's just like in the mask, and you're just like, oh, that's awful. I don't like that image. It's one of my it kind of makes me cringe every time. I just like my whole body just is like, oh. And I watched this movie last week again in preparation for this, and just like when that happens, I'm just like, I really don't like other people wearing his mask. So I'm kind of worried about Halloween Ends where somebody's probably going to be wearing Michael's mask. I'm just not a fan of like, I'm not a fan of unmasking Michael, and I'm not a fan of people wearing his mask. He owns that shit. Stop fucking around with it. Obviously, there's a ton of reviews for Halloween 2018, but I just kind of wanted to give my thoughts on it. I like Laurie back, and I kind of like the story we get that's encompassing with her family. I don't know that she really should be preparing for 40 years. I mean, he killed like 5 people, so that's the only unrealistic part. Like, oh, this town is like brutally 5 people died 40 years ago, and she's just like been prepping for him to get out. I mean, that's the only thing that I'm just like, it's kind of contrived, but it worked for the story that they're telling, so I'm fine with it. I really do enjoy this movie, and even rewatching it, I do like, like the babysitter scene with the boy. I like all that stuff. It has humor. Not all of it works. Like, I know some of you are thinking about the peanut butter like dialogue and that scene. So some of that stuff doesn't work. That may have worked if it had been like a running thing throughout it, but it just felt out of place. And I think that's where you can get Danny McBride kind of trying to inject that humor. But I do think they kind of learned in the second one that like all that humor doesn't work. So they kind of stripped away a lot of that. But then they obviously made other mistakes. So we'll get into that when we get into Halloween Kills. So let me know, do you like Halloween 18? What's your favorite Halloween movie? Going into the end of this trilogy, what is your favorite Halloween movie? What is your favorite like appearance of Michael? What's your favorite kill? How do you think Halloween Ends is going to go? Let's start that dialogue down before. What are you excited for with that movie? I love the look of Michael. That's, like I said, I miss that. That's the one thing I really do like about this movie. James Jude Courtney is a fucking awesome Michael Myers. I think he's my favorite. I know Nick Castle's in here doing some work also, but I think he is my favorite Michael Myers. Yes, I think he is. I know other people have some different opinions than me, but I just think he works so well, and I just love it. And also, I will say another thing before we go. The music by Carpenter and Cody Carpenter is phenomenal. I'm glad that he came back and did the score. There is one track in this movie that is fucking incredible, and I wish it would have like expanded a little longer, and that is the stalking sequence we got with Allyson in this movie. Oh god, that song is so fucking badass. If I could put it in here and not get copyright struck, I would. But I think you can find the soundtrack. It's just Stalking Allison or something like that. That is the most badass song in this movie, and they underutilized that song. I wish it had gone on a little longer. That scene, I wish it would have stretched that scene out a little longer. But other than that, I really like this movie. I don't have a ton of problems with the movie, other than, like I said, with Sartain and a few of the things they decided to do those lines. But revisiting it over and over and over, I do think it works as a whole, as a setup for what we got. So that's all I've got. I'm not going to waste any more time. Look forward tomorrow for my review of Halloween Kills. And then on Thursday, you will get Halloween Ends. I'm super excited. So if you like what I do, consider becoming part of the collective. And don't forget, some doors should never be open.